Is it worth it to invest in a shield during a pistol round? In a pistol round, we can buy two things. We can either buy a shield, which increases our health pool by 25, or a better gun to deal more damage. To most people, this might sound like buying a shield counters the opponent who invested in a gun. But it actually gets quite complicated when we dig into the details. So thank all this year spent in math class, because together with our arch nemesis, we are going to figure out if a shield is actually a good buy or not, if you want to win the upcoming 1v1. We all know that every agent has a base health of 100 without shields. But do we all know how much damage every sidearm does? To make sure that we are all on the same page, here are all the pistols with their respective damage numbers. I also added Chamber's pistol, because it is a pistol and you might encounter it in a pistol round. But keep in mind, it's basically the sheriff without any damage drop-off. I went out of my way to make a table that shows how many bullets it takes to kill an unarmored opponent with each gun of each range and on each body part. So, if you want to know how many bullets it takes to kill with the ghost from 50 meters away with body shots only, it takes 4 bullets, as we can see right here. On 35 meters, it takes 6 leg shots to kill with the classic and 2 body shots on 50 meters with the sheriff. However, colors always make things easier to understand, so here's the color-coded version. Whatever kills us in one hit is red, and the more bullets it takes, the whiter the rectangle. Seems like the sheriff and Chamber always one-tap headshot us no matter the range, and so does the ghost up to 30 meters. However, let's put this aside for now and take a look at the bullets needed to kill against an opponent with light shields. It already looks a bit less red, but it's kind of tough to make out if a shield is worth it. Even when we compare the graphs, it's still hard to read, so let's get rid of them for now. Don't worry if you didn't have time to read everything yet, I'll put it up once more at the end of the video. This graph shows the differences the shield makes survivability wise. If a cell has a 0, it means the shield has no impact, while 1 means you survive an extra bullet, and 2 if you survive 2. Great! We can already conclude looking at the graph that the shield does have an impact on your survivability, and is particularly effective against the classic, frenzy, and especially the ghost, which happens to be the most bought weapon in the first round. At least according to Reddit, and Reddit. If we count all the cells together, which are 90 of them, and also count the amount of green cells together, which are 42 of them, we can calculate that in roughly 47% of the engagements, a shield makes a difference. If we don't count the shorty, which, let's be fair, we shouldn't really do anyway due to its inconsistent damage numbers, the shield makes a difference in 56% of the engagements. That's more than half. And if we play against relatively less accurate opponents, so opponents who are less likely to hit headshots, the shield makes a difference in 80% of the scenarios. And 100% of the opponents have good crosshair placement but not headshot level good. Point is, the shield is useful. But if that was all, the video would be over, and the red line below the video warns us of something else. Something grey and sinister about to crush this argument. Because whenever we buy a shield, we can't buy another weapon aside from the shorty. And pushing C along with the shorty, let's call it ballsy. By buying a shield, we are forced to the classic, which means we lose out on the frenzy, ghost and the sheriff. Do we, now with shields, have a chance against those guns, or are we better off not buying shield and just actually buying a good gun? This is us. It takes 2 headshots, 4 body shots, and 5 leg shots on close range to kill an unarmored person. The person we are about to have a gunfight with didn't buy a shield and instead bought solely a shorty, frenzy, ghost or sheriff. Or didn't get to buy anything at all because overly supportive Sage main. If a color is green, like with the body shots versus the no armor classic, it means that they will take 1 bullet longer to kill us if we both hit the same body part in a duel. Remember, this graph only shows that we fight against an opponent who has a better pistol but no shield. Anyway, coming back to the graphic, it seems like unless you're playing against the sheriff or chamber, or if you play C, it's a fair fight. Or we have the upper hand because we have to shoot fewer bullets. We even have 400 credits left to spend on abilities, while Frenzy, Ghost and especially Sheriff users don't get the same opportunity. However, while it is true that most of the time we have more money than our opponents, plus shoot the same amount of bullets or less, that doesn't actually mean that we will win the gunfight, nor will it justify if the shield is a good purchase. Wait, don't tell me you forgot about our old pal, Mr. Fire Raid. Well, he suddenly didn't forget about us, Because if we convert the bullets to time to kill, which we do by counting the time needed to kill after the first shot, as when we one-tap someone, our time to kill is 0 milliseconds since it's instant. The real counter to the shield shows its true color. Like literally, look at that red row. But also look at the sudden green row over at the before permanently painted red side. A lot has changed now that we converted it to time to kill. And we could probably even start arguing about what the best pistol is to buy in the first round, but that's for another video. All you need to know is that 1 second consists out of 1000 milliseconds, so 100 ms is 0.1 second. And that red means that it's better than us with shields. I know I said colors always make things better, but now it's getting a bit extreme. Here we go, way better. White means the fight will result in a draw, green means we win, and red means we lose. The good news is, we completely counted the 100 credits more expensive Ghost. The bad news is, the free classic is the only other gun that we countered. The worst news? We have opened a tomb we shouldn't have opened. Meet the Frenzy. No matter what range, body part hit, or sadly if we have a shield or not, the gun will always beat us. Of course, it's less accurate than the classic, which could mean that there's a set percentage chance that it might just miss more than the free gun, but I'm trying to make an understandable video here, okay? I'm just here to state facts. Sorry Team Classic, nothing personal. Interestingly enough, when we play against someone who isn't too confident with the Sheriff, we can actually kill them slightly faster if we fight within 30 meters and only hit body shots. When researching the guns, this actually got me to doubt my calculations, but it is true. You can kill an 800 Sheriff user by buying a 400 currency shield. But if you miss a single shot, or if you get one unlucky shot and they hit a lucky shot on your feet, never would have thought I would say that, it's game over and we lose. So, is it worth to buy a shield if your goal is to win a 1v1? Well, we can be lazy and say if you play against Ghost users, yes, and if you play against Frenzies, don't even bother peeking. But we don't always get the luxury to know what our opponents pick. I mean, a Jet player will most likely buy a Sheriff, but if we play against the Breach, it gets a bit harder to guess. It's quick math time. We count the total cells, try to deal with the fact that I almost forgot 6 years worth of math in the span of 4 years, and get the following percentages. In 40% of the scenarios, we will lose because our time to kill is longer. In 37.33% of the engagements, we will win because our time to kill is faster. And in the remaining 22.66% of them, we will draw. So, in 40% of the engagements, we will lose, so shield equals better. Right? Well, I apologize if it's starting to feel like a bad heist movie, but there is another plot twist. Because we are here to figure out if a shield is worth it to win a 1v1, not how often we lose when we buy a shield. So in my opinion, instead of ignoring the draw outcomes, we should add them to the 40%, as a draw doesn't actually guarantee us to win the duel. That means that in only 37% of the duels, we will win. But how about when we ignore the shorties part in the calculations? Because to be honest, shorties are kind of hard to calculate. Well, sorry shield fans. Even when I'm reaching to make it more shield favored by removing the Sheriff because there's no Jet in the other team, we still don't even reach 30%. It's just better to buy a Frenzy or a Ghost if you want to increase the odds of winning an unknown 1v1. It's not this video's purpose to tell you what you should buy instead of a shield, but for only 50 more you can get a Frenzy, cost efficient and apparently pretty strong. Have you guys ever played Super Mario Galaxy 2 and went to the Throwback Galaxy? It's basically Whomp's Fortress from Super Mario 64. You climb to the top and defeat the Whomp King to get a star. Well, the Frenzy would be the powerful being on top of the mountain. But that isn't the final boss, because after we defeat the Frenzy, a hatch opens to reveal the true boss of the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, take off your hats because I'm about to introduce the economy's worst nightmare. Chamber. A bullet costs only 100 credits. So in theory, while you spend 400 on shields, if you both shoot each other's head, he can kill you with only 100 credits. Alright, we really need to stop with the plot twist. I don't want to reveal any more nightmares. Click here to watch my previous video, where I compared the Ares versus the Spectre, which is kind of fitting since that's the round after the pistol round. And here to learn why flashes are great and annoying. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Farewell.